All right, my CSI agents, here is your activity for today and tomorrow. This is your only paperwork for today and tomorrow. So if you want to split it up and only do half today and half tomorrow, then go for it. Or if you want to knock it all out today, go for that too. All I want from you when you finish this activity is send me a picture of the very last page. Right here, it says the cryptic puzzle solver text message. Show me your work for this part right here, and then let me know who you think is the culprit. So let's look at it. CSI shapes, area, and perimeter. So you're going to need to use what we talked about in the last video about area and perimeter of triangles and rectangles to be able to solve this. That's why we did that mini lesson. All right, so here's our letter. Detectives. As you know, we are after a group of international evil geniuses, the Mathemagicians. Our evidence shows that they have plans to build a world-conquering device to conquer the world. It seems that one of the henchmen, convex dodecahedron, has committed a string of robberies all over Western Europe. And here's a picture of Europe. There's Italy, and there's England, and all of these countries. Germany's in there, France, Portugal. So we have all kinds of places. Okay, so dodecahedron, remember, is a 12-sided figure, so it's named after a 12-sided figure. A cryptic text message was sent to police. What's cryptic mean? Cryptic means it's got some suspicion to it. It's hidden. It's a message that you don't know the meaning of. There's some sort of a clue that you need to solve in order to solve the message. It's not clear what it is. But it requires the puzzles to be cracked. We've told the result of the cryptic text message will calculate to dodecahedron's favorite number. Thus far, there are 6 suspects that police have questions. You need to be prepared to state your case and demonstrate your understanding of the following skills that dodecahedron is known to use in the notes. So we're going to have to classify shapes. Classify means name them, right? So we're going to have to be able to tell the difference between triangles and different quadrilaterals, trapezoids and parallelograms and squares and rectangles and whatnot. We have to be able to calculate the area of rectangles and triangles, and this is the one I showed you in the earlier video, so if you need to go back and review that, please do. You also have to be able to calculate the perimeter. We talked about that in the last video too. Go back if you need to. And then what we did in the past, the volume with cubes. Remember, when you're calculating volume, this is the capacity of rectangular prisms like we did earlier, right? So you're going to count the cubes that make up the space. So if you remember, if I had a shape that looked like this, what's the volume of that rectangular prism? I have to count the cubes. So if I look at my layers that are in here, let me grab another color. I'm going to pull off this layer like a loaf of bread. If that layer was purple right there, how many cubes make up that layer? That layer is 4, and then there's 1, 2, 3 layers. So this is made up of 12 cubes. You can also see there's 6 in the front layer, and there's 2 layers, one behind the other, so that would be 12. Or length times width times height, if it's a regular rectangular prism. 2 by 3 by 2. 2 times 3 is 6, times 2 is 12. Okay, so we have to know all of those. Good luck to you from Chief Harris. Okay, so as you walk through this, the very first page, let me shrink it down a little bit. The very first page are your suspects. The next page, the first clue, this is where you're going to use area and perimeter of triangles and rectangles, so use your clues if you need to. Each one of these clues has one answer. One of these is correct, and you're going to circle it. I strongly suggest you use pencil because you might make a mistake the first time around. And remember, mistakes are not a bad thing. It's just making you think and figuring out what's the correct answer. And we're going to qualify some triangles. So you might have to go back to your your Tuesday lesson when we talked about triangles and look at those types of triangles. You can also look at 15.1, has the different triangles by their sides and their angles. Remember, triangles have 2 different names. Okay. These clues, we're going to classify some polygons, all of these polygons, and we have to find the answer to these clues to figure out which one is the right one. This one we're going to classify some quadrilaterals, which you did on Wednesday and Tuesday. This one was a little bit confusing, so I want to make sure you understand this. This one says, it's time for a delicious Italian personal pizza. They each have the same price. So these black dots are all pizzas, and each one of those pizzas have the same price. You're going to calculate the area of the pizzas to figure out which one is the best deal. Okay, so the area is the rectangle around it, so 5 by 3. So to find the area, and then if there's 6 pizzas that are the area, how would I figure out which each pizza costs if the whole thing was 15? Well, if I'm going to split it up, I'm going to have to divide. So for example, if the area of the shape, let me come up here and give you one. If this was my rectangle table, and there's my 4 pizzas, if this was a 5 by 4 inch box, it's tiny, isn't it? If this is a 5 by 4, the area would be 5 times 4, which is 20. So each pizza would be 20 divided by 4 because there's 4 pizzas. Remember, I can also write a division problem like this. 20 divided by 4. And 20 divided by 4 is 5. So each pizza is 5. Then I'd have to do that for each one of these to figure out which one is the better deal. The better deal is the one that costs the least. And then our last clue is your volume. You're going to figure out the volume, the total volume of the word Lego. And you can use this to help you along the way. Then once you figure that out, you're going to use these clues down here to figure out what his cryptic puzzle is. And that will help you to solve the puzzle. Okay? Remember, this is your only written work for today and tomorrow, so you can split it up and just do a couple, or you can get it all knocked out today and just use the last time to catch up on Friday to catch up on iReady and do some learning games on iReady, or your choice boards or your challenges. All right? Have a great day.